The treatment of the whole person, the whole place, or the entire event, taking into account the mental, physical, spiritual, and soulful factors, rather than just the episode alone. It's when you're dealing with the whole thing. And a holistic view means that you are interested in developing the whole brain. The purpose of corrective history is now look at the difference. I'm going to repeat it just so you can see the difference between the two. The purpose of corrective history is to analyze the person, the place, or the event comprehensively and determine what can be done for the person, place, or event to be better or to be corrected. Episodic history looks at an episode, its part. It has its place, and it is important. But corrective history looks at the entire series of episodes with its purpose to do better. It's corrective history. It's not just analyzing. I know I use the example of World War I and World War II. What could have happened right after World War I that could have prevented World War II? So the idea that we're doing is that we're studying the past in order to improve for the future. And that's a very important aspect because I'm a social science teacher. And I know that when we taught the American Revolution, we taught the people who were involved in it. We taught about the places where it took place, and we talked about the events. But we never had, and I'm not saying that all teachers were like this, but the way the curriculum was structured, it wasn't meant to correct. In other words, what could we have done during the Vietnam War conflict that would have avoided Afghanistan or would have avoided Iraq? So you're looking at things from a corrective perspective. The reason why this is important, looking at our history as a people, is because we are introduced to the African American experience. But in no way, shape, or form are we introduced to the many other episodes. We are not introduced to the fights that took place in Africa when the communities were invaded. We really did not get into the understanding of what happened in Elmina dungeons. We didn't talk about that. All we talked about were episodes of an experience. So therefore, children who are being taught that slaves were brought from Africa, slaves were not brought from Africa. Human beings were brought from Africa and they were enslaved. A slave is a noun that describes a person. But to be enslaved is a process that a human being went through in order to take and to oppress them, which is one of the things that we're going to talk about a little bit later. The next thing that I'd like to do, understanding episodic history and understanding corrective history, I can give you another example. You're watching television and you're watching a series on TV that comes in, let's say, 12 episodes. You get a chance to see the first episode, but you don't see the other 11. Do you know what happened? There's no way you could know what happened. You only saw one episode. Let's say that you missed the first 11 and you saw the 12th episode. Do you really know how the 12th episode came into existence? How the things that you watched in the 12th episode actually happened? No, because you didn't see the other 11. Third example.